Who is Oscar Pig? And why has no one in Peppa's family ever mentioned him? We all know Peppa, George, and Evie Pig, the famous trio. But what if there was a fourth sibling, quietly erased from the story? A popular fan theory has found some unbelievable clues that suggest he really did exist. A middle child, mysteriously missing from the show. In this video, we're investigating who Oscar Pig is, and why the family tried to cover up his existence. The evidence is out there, and it's more convincing than you'd ever expect. If Oscar Pig really was the lost middle child of the Pig family, then the first clue to his existence might be hidden right above their heads. Because Peppa's house has an attic. A dark, dusty attic that for some reason no one ever visits. That's strange, because most kids love exploring places like that. But in Peppa's house, the attic is ignored like it's intentionally off limits to everyone because something or someone is in there. And then there's the strange blackouts at home. In the episode The Power Cut, the lights in Peppa's house suddenly go out and there is no explanation for what caused it. Sure, it could have been a random blackout, but how often does that really happen for no reason? The blackout only lasts a short time, but here's the weird part. No one tries to work out what caused it. Some fans think this was no accident. They believe it could have been the work of the mysterious middle child, secretly living in the house long after everyone assumed he was gone. Or, and here's the spookier version, maybe he didn't survive at all. Maybe what we're seeing is his ghost, still lingering in the attic. And that blackout? It might not have been a glitch. It might have been Oscar, not just haunting the house, but leaving behind little clues of his existence. And the next clue? It's hiding in plain sight on the family computer. If Oscar Pig really was a lost middle child, it looks like he might have left one tiny digital footprint behind, right on the Pig family's own computer. In the episode Mummy Pig's book, Peppa and George play a chicken game on the family computer. The scoreboard pops up with names we all know. GEO is George, PEP is Peppa, GNP is Granny Pig, GPP is Grandpa Pig, MMP is Mummy Pig, and SUZY would be Suzy Sheep. So far, so normal. Until you see the very bottom of the list. A strange set of initials. O-O-P. Nobody ever explains it. It just sits there, like a little secret hiding in plain sight. Now, you could argue it's just a random username, but fans don't think so. Many believe OP stands for Oscar Pig, quietly erased from the show, but not from the computer's memory, with the lowest score to boot. Even in digital form, Oscar can't catch a break. Was this a glitch? A joke? Or the writers slipping in a clue they didn't expect anyone to notice? Whatever it is, once you've seen Oscar on that list, you can't unsee it. The big question is, if Oscar was real, when was he born? The show drops a huge clue that proves our missing child was born soon after Peppa. Everyone assumes George is the second child. But here's the thing, there's a 2.5-year age gap between Peppa and George. For humans, that's normal. But for pigs, that's basically a lifetime. Real pigs can get pregnant again just weeks after giving birth, and their pregnancies last only about 4 months. That means Mummy Pig had more than enough time to have another baby in between them two without breaking the timeline of the show. And this theory is proven in the episode Baby Bump. Peppa and George are watching an old video of when Peppa was a baby. But here's the weird part. In that same video, Mummy Pig is already pregnant. So, who's the baby in her tummy? It can't be George, because Peppa is clearly still a baby herself. And in the show, there's supposed to be a 2.5-year age gap between them, which means George shouldn't come along until much later. So either the timeline is all mixed up, or there was another baby in between. A mysterious middle child that the show never talks about. Oscar Pig. If he was born early, he might have had health problems or a weak immune system, which could explain why he never appeared on screen. Some fans think he may have caught a serious illness like swine fever and was kept away from the family to protect them. And in the most heartbreaking version of the theory, the missing piglet may have died before he could appear in the show. But what if he left something behind? Something small? Something green? Something George never lets go of? If Oscar really was the forgotten middle child, there might still be one thing of his left in the Pig household. And George has been carrying it around this whole time. We're talking about Mr. Dinosaur, George's beloved green toy. It's there at mealtimes. It's there at bath time. It's even tucked in beside him when he goes to sleep. Over the years, George has been given plenty of new dinosaur toys, like the shiny purple one for his birthday, or the high-tech walking, roaring robotic dinosaur he got when Mr. Dinosaur broke in the episode The Robot Dinosaur. But no matter what, he always goes back to the original. It's a little worn, a little faded, but to George, it's perfect. Now, most little kids love their toys, but this level of loyalty, it's not normal. Most kids quickly get excited about a new toy and leave the old one behind. George doesn't. And here's where the theory comes in. Some fans believe Mr. Dinosaur didn't actually start out as George's toy. They think it once belonged to Oscar. If that's true, it might be the only thing George's missing brother ever left behind. It's not just a toy then. It's a link. A connection between brothers who never got to grow up together. And if you really want to stretch the theory, some even suggest that Oscar's spirit could be attached to Mr. Dinosaur, almost like it's his way of still looking out for George. Whether that's sweet or a little bit spooky, one thing's for sure, Mr. Dinosaur is more than just a bit of green plastic. It's George's constant companion, and maybe a clue to the pig family's biggest mystery. If Oscar really was the middle child who came before him, it makes sense that George gets a little extra. His parents might be making up for the sibling they lost by spoiling the one they still have. Because if you've been paying attention, you'll notice something pretty big. George's birthdays are on a completely different level compared to Peppa's. In the episode George's Birthday, the pig family didn't just put up some streamers and cut a cake. Oh no, they booked out an entire museum. There was a massive dinosaur exhibition, and yes, a giant robotic dinosaur that moved, roared, and probably cost more than Daddy Pig's car. Meanwhile, Peppa's birthday? A nice little party at home, some balloons, and a cake. Sweet, but not exactly prehistoric robot spectacular. Now, sure, he's the youngest, and younger kids do sometimes get a bit more attention. But some fans think there's something else going on here. If the family really did lose a child, possibly Oscar, George could be their second chance. He's the one they can still protect, still spoil, still make extra happy. If Oscar Pig really existed, then the next question is, who took him? Well, here's where things get suspicious. We've met Granny and Grandpa Pig more times than we can count. But Daddy Pig's parents? Not once. No visits, no phone calls, not even a casual mention over tea. It's like they've been completely erased from the family photo album. And speaking of photos, there is one strange clue. In the episode, Daddy Pig's Office, you can spot an old black and white photograph of Daddy Pig as a young piglet standing beside a girl on his office desk. She's not Mummy Pig, she's not any character we know, and she's never appeared in the series. Who is she? Some fans think she could have been Daddy Pig's sister, a sibling who vanished from the story entirely. Now here's where it gets interesting. If something happened to that sister when they were young, it could explain why Daddy Pig's parents never appear. Maybe they left. Maybe they were taken away. Maybe they took someone with them. And if the missing piglet, the so-called Oscar, really existed, it's possible he didn't just disappear into thin air. He might have been raised far away by Daddy Pig's own parents, which would mean he's still out there somewhere, just not with Peppa, George, and Evie. That dusty old photograph might be the only glimpse we'll ever get of the truth. Some fans think the missing sibling might not have disappeared naturally. Maybe something with sharp teeth got to him first. Peppa's world might look all rainbows, muddy puddles, and giggles, but if you look closely, some of the animals seem a little too interested in pigs. Take Wendy Wolf's parents. In the episode New House, Mr. Wolf asks Daddy Pig if his house is made of straw, just like the big bad wolf in The Three Little Pigs. Mr. Wolf even goes on to say,
"I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll..."
Sure, he smiles when he says it, but you can't help wondering if they're just making small talk or checking the menu. Then there's Mr. Lion. In the creepy crawly safari episode, he lets out a deep rumbling growl that's so fierce, Madame Gazelle actually freezes. It's quick, but you can see it in her eyes, like she's heard that sound before and it wasn't during music class. Which means, behind all the giggles and games, there's a tiny chance the missing piglet didn't just disappear, he might have met a very hungry neighbor. If Oscar Pig really did pass away from an illness, it could explain why Mummy and Daddy Pig seem extra worried whenever George shows even the smallest sign of being unwell. In the episode George Catches a Cold, poor George ends up sneezing and shivering after splashing in muddy puddles without his hat on. Peppa, of course, doesn't take it seriously. She just sighs and says,
George, please don't sneeze so loudly.
but Mummy and Daddy Pig? They go straight into crisis mode, wrapping George in blankets, fussing over him, and immediately calling Dr. Brown Bear for a house visit. For a simple cold, it seems a little extreme. But if they've already lost a piglet once, every sneeze could feel like history creeping back. It's not just a cold to them. It's a reminder of the one time they couldn't protect their baby, and the fear of going through it all over again. So, where is Oscar Pig? Is he haunting the attic? Living off-grid with Daddy Pig's mysterious parents? Secretly whispering through Mr. Dinosaur like some kind of ghostly green walkie-talkie? Honestly, your guess is as good as ours. And if Oscar did exist, he might be the biggest mystery ever hidden in the show. So what do you think? Was Oscar real, and where did he go? Drop your theory in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other wild Peppa Pig mysteries. Trust us, things only get weirder from here.